Good morning, everyone. Welcome back into my kitchen, Cooking with Carol Diane. I popped on this morning to put together a simple little meal because I have a bunch of errands and appointments to take care of today. And if you're like me, you think, I don't want to come home at the end of the day and worry about what's for dinner. I didn't lay anything out. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. And you still have to eat. So today's dinner is going to be really, really simple and easy. Husband's going to come home early, and we actually are going to have hamburgers out on the grill. He usually likes to do that because he puts so dang much seasoning on his hamburger. And that's fine. Let him have it. But what I'm going to fix, I'm going to kind of start from the dessert, what we're going to have that I can just put in the refrigerator and keep until we get back from our errands. And then, of course, the hamburgers will be at the very end. Right now, they are thawing on my Miracle Grow plate that I have shown before. You can find that on my website, cookingwithcaroldiane.com, under the gadgets. It works great. You can put any kind of a frozen meat on that Miracle Thaw plate, and in no time at all, your meat's ready to cook. But I'm going to start with the little treat of the dessert first. I've had a week, folks. I really have. Good for people that they have a really good week every week. More power to them. But you ever have one of those weeks where you think everything's just either gone crazy or what's wrong with people or something? And I'll talk about that. But let's make the little goodie first. So get you a bowl. And in the bowl, you're going to put 2 1/3 of the Bisquick pancake mix. That's what I'm going to use for my batter, because this is going to be kind of like a peach cobbler in a way. I bought the little pie plate, and I need this like a hole in my head. But again, I was out, I found it. It was very, very pretty because it has the peaches. It has peaches and it has cherries. No, actually, those might be apples. I don't know. Maybe the back one is a peach. Kind of look like peaches to me. So I just kind of like the plate. So I have that. I am going to go ahead and spray it lightly with cooking oil, just so this comes out of the pan. Okay, so easy. Put your Bisquick mix in here. Next thing you're going to need is 2/3 cup of milk. Put that in there. You're going to need some melted butter, and you need 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Stick that in there. Make sure you get all the little goodies from that. And then you're going to need 3 tablespoons of sugar. So I'm going to need just a little bit more sugar. So let's just grab it off of mine. Oh, heavens no. Why would that be filled with sugar? That won't take but a minute. Always low on my ingredients someplace, somewhere. All right. Got a little bit more sugar in the sugar bowl. 3 tablespoons. It's been a week. This is Friday, folks. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Whew, got that in. Save the day. Okay, and that's all you're going to need. The butter, sugar, milk, and the Bisquick mix. Let's mix this up. And I'm really glad it is Friday. You know, when people say, oh, it's a Monday, start to the brand new week. And I usually look forward to a Monday. I really do. But this Friday of ending this week, I'm kind of glad the week's over. I really am. I really, really am. Okay, now it's coming together more like a biscuit mix would. It's looking more like that. This is a kind of a crazy little recipe I stumbled across. And I don't really care what it looks like. I'm after the taste more than anything. So I'm going to put, it's going to be crumbly, and that's okay. Put it all down in here. Try to get it all. It's very, this recipe actually is very similar to when you make those dump cakes. You just stick it all in here. It's crumbly looking, yes. It is. Kind of break it up just a little bit more here because we want it all in there. Then I'm going to take my, I just got a, what does this say on it here? It's, where they give you everything but the size. Oh, 21 ounce. 21 ounces. You can use any kind of pie filling that you want. I'm just doing the peaches. Stick those in there. Now, in a few months, when the peaches are fresh, where I live, then of course I'll be making all kinds of things. All kinds of things with peaches. Okay, set your oven for 425. And I'm going to cook this anywhere from 16 to 17 minutes, just depending, and then I'll be back. Okay, second thing I'm going to have with my easy dinner tonight so that I can make now, put it in the refrigerator, and then come back whenever we get back home. And it's done, it's ready. All we have to do is grill those hamburgers out on the grill and dinner's done. This is a recipe I grew up with. It is so easy. It's like there's only two little things, two ingredients to it. There's a pan of water that I've got boiling. There is the elbow macaroni that I'm going to put in here. So I don't know, I've got probably a good, maybe 3 cups of water in here to boil. It's boiling, it's done. I like to squirt just a little bit of oil in there, and I always put a little bit of salt in the water, you know, to get it boiling, and it's roaring boiling now. So I'm going to add, for husband and I, probably half of that jar will be just fine. Just fine. And when I get this done, and what I add to it, the second ingredient, is because it's what my mother made many, many years ago. And I was going to do a video closer to Mother's Day, kind of a real funny, cute one, but that's not going to happen. Something came up this week, and that's not going to happen. But what I will tell you is this particular recipe, I remember her making so many times as kind of a side dish. And one afternoon, early, like what I'm doing, she made it, and I was in the 6th grade. I remember being in the 6th grade on this one. And it was a tiny little house that we lived in, white kitchen, and the cupboards were very much like the cupboards that I have in my kitchen. And they were only a kind of a soft pink color. It was quite striking when you went into the kitchen. And back in those days, they had colors like that, either the turquoise for the appliances, you know, or something, but the cupboards were pink. And I remember that she had sheer white curtains to the window, the kitchen window over the sink, that had little tiny pink, they were almost, I think they were embroidered little flowers in the material of the sheer curtain. And it just was inviting, you know, it was soothing and inviting. And we sat down at the table waiting, just like what I'm doing here, waiting for the macaroni to get soft and put this simple little side dish together. And we had the best conversation that afternoon. We laughed. My mother would always go back in time where she'd tell some story. I think that's how I mean, you get a lot of things from your parents, both sides, but I think that's where I got it from my mom. Was storytelling was from her. She could tell a good story, and she could remember a lot of different things to tell me, whether it was her childhood growing up, the tea parties that they used to have, things like that. But we sat one whole afternoon, just her and I. I don't remember where the rest of the family was. It could have been a Saturday when people were busy. I don't remember. It could have been maybe I wasn't feeling good and I was home from school that day and she fixed this. I just don't remember. That's been way too many years ago for me to remember that. And I don't remember a lot of things. And I'll get to that in a minute too. But this was one of them that I'm fixing. And I'll go ahead and let this start to boil. I'll jump back over on my counter and finish my story. Okay, I'll start with my little week that I have had. And maybe you've had one too. And if you have, oh, please do comment and tell me about your week of maybe when things didn't go so well. So my week starts off with the cable TV goes out. Had to call, get nowhere on the phone. Finally, out of frustration, I said, could you just please send a service technician to the house to fix this? We've been out not having TV for almost 2 days now. I'd kind of like to watch the news, see what's going on in the world. So they do. It's a young boy that comes to the house. And I have to wait, all afternoon because it's between noon and 5 o'clock. He finally comes to the house and he has to figure out if it's the Joey or the Hopper. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know, I don't care. Just get it back up and running. It's just a box underneath my TV in the cabinet. It makes the thing work. It gets the signal from the satellite and makes the TV work. Just fix it. That's all I'm after. I don't care what it's called. And who invented those names, Joey and Hopper? I don't know. It went from that, finally did get that fixed. But it was an all afternoon process. It really was. Then I went to getting a notice about my internet service was increasing. So I had to call bookkeeping on that. And that never goes well. I'm still going to have to pay the bill on that of what they're increasing. Then my smartwatch that I wear, I got the notification on that it's going up $5 a month now. Why? I don't know. I had to go back to my surgeon for a checkup. This is now the middle of the week. So Monday and Tuesday were filled with cable and internet and different things. And then Wednesday rolls around, middle of the week. Okay? You would think it'd be, okay, we're getting over the hump. But the hump is not good. So I go to the surgeon for my checkup. He takes another big x-ray and says, sorry, Diane, more complications. We got to do surgery again. Okay, got to be put under the knife Tuesday. And I leave that place. And husband's with me. And I'm not really a happy camper at that point because, I'm looking at my surgeon and I said, I'm just now getting back feeling good. I'm just now where I planted a rose bush in my yard. And now you're going to flatten me again with surgery, anesthesia, everything. Yeah. Okay. So we're at Home Depot, husband and I. And I'm still in my mind just, why? Why is my body doing this? And why all these complications and rejecting this and rejecting that? And it's like, oh my gosh. So my head was filled with that. I wasn't paying attention too much, except husband went there to get a hose. And in the big, and it's spring, people, and Lowe's and Home Depot, if you have one in the area, there are biggest stores down here that carry all kinds of stuff. And especially their garden center is filled with everything for spring planting. But Lowe's got carried away. Or not Lowe's, but Home Depot got carried away. I go to both of them so much. I get them confused. But Home Depot got carried away. Off to the side of their store that they keep all the trees and bigger shrubs and all of that. They added one more zero, I think, to the order. They have literally 500 peach trees sitting on all these pallets. They're just overwhelmed with peach trees. I've never seen so many peach trees in my life at a store like that. Okay, and that's kind of why I decided to do this peach of what I'm doing because it reminded me of it. I thought, wow, there's a lot of peach trees. Okay, we leave there, and actually, everybody's nice in the store there. Okay, I'm still in my brain trying to absorb like a sponge. Why do I have to have another surgery next week? I don't want to do this. And that's before Mother's Day, where I'd really planned on, like I said, a cute little video about Mother's Day. Not going to feel like doing that. We get over to Lowe's. And Lowe's has the flowers that are unbelievable. And usually every year, that's where I buy my rose bushes. They're big, they're nice. They're $25 for the rose bush, but you just can't beat them because they're healthy looking and they're beautiful. But I'd already bought my JFK white rose bush from the grocery store. Paid $25 for it. But I'm looking at the big rack of all the roses, and there's a woman that comes up to me again out of the blue, no filters, no boundaries. She just comes right over to me. Aren't these flowers wonderful? She says, well, you just can't find them better anyplace else. I've been to Walmart and their flowers they're wilting. I said, yeah, Lowe's has good flowers. I said, and I usually buy my roses here every year. Husband's off talking with her husband. Gabber, gabber, gabber. Pretty soon he comes over and he says, you want another rose bush? And I said, well, I already bought my rose bush for the year. It's a white one. But I said, these are gorgeous. They're yellow. Before I could finish my sentence or even tell the lady to have a wonderful afternoon, anything, husband's got a great big rose bush right under his arm, headed for the check stand to pay for that yellow rose. Okay. I'm really not going to say anything at this point because I'm thinking, you want to buy me another rose? Buy me another rose. It did perk me up. It really did. Okay, we leave Lowe's. I get back home. I have a nice cup of hot tea. I'm still thinking about my surgery, but I'm looking on my phone now. And I'm always looking for, I don't know, just anything for outside yard for spring going into summer. And I actually found something. Let me stir the noodles. Okay, so I found on Facebook Marketplace an ad where the man's name is Rick Hanby, and he makes in his garage concrete statues of all kinds of different things. There can be angels, there can be those gargoyle things, gnomes that he has. There was a squirrel that caught my eye. And then came a picture of, you'll never believe this, and I'm going to show it at the end of my video. There was a great big lion. Now, many years ago, I don't know why in my brain, but at the time I thought, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have a house where you have those two great big lions, at the front door? They're big and massive. Only the rich people, or royalty had those. And I thought, someday I'm going to get me a lion. And these were kind of different. They really were. So I contacted the man and I asked him, is it still available? Oh, yeah. But he lived clear across town in what's called, where I live, the Redlands. Okay. A place where I thought I wanted to live when I first moved to this location. But we just didn't find a house at that time on the Redlands. Excuse me. So I tell my husband and I show my husband, look at this. I said, what do you think of this? I said, I've really always kind of wanted one. Oh, yeah. He says, but you have to have two. I said, well, you're not showing two, but I said, one would be nice too. Okay, so we were to meet at his place at 5 o'clock. And we did. Had a nice little drive over there. The man was very, very accommodating and nice. Showed us all of his artwork of this concrete work of these molds that he did. And so I'm looking at all of that. Got to keep an eye on the oven for my peach cobbler, whatever you want to call it. Might want to look at that, so hang on. Okay, dessert's out of the oven. That was pretty quick, huh? Now this is just what it's going to look like. And I'm going to add to this, it's very, very hot. I'm going to add just a little sprinkling on top of cinnamon. You can do that while you bake it, but I'm just going to add it right now. A little cinnamon on that. And then when we get ready after the hamburgers, if we're not full from all of the dinner, I'm going to put this in a little dessert dish with some French vanilla ice cream. And dessert's done. You know, you don't have to have it hot right out of the oven. You know, if I want to stick it for 30 seconds in the microwave on a little single serving dish, which I might bring out my ones that I did get at the thrift store. I think I will bring those out and put it in there. This is going to be great. Okay, back to my statues. So we get up there and I pick out, he has 2 statues of these lions right by the garage door there. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, wow, I really kind of like those. They aren't the kind where the lion has his paw up like this. You've seen some of those. They aren't big in size this way. They're more slender. Like I said, I'm going to show you at the end of the video. I said, okay. I said, oh, you have 2. Yeah, it was cheaper if you buy 2. Okay. I said, well, I think we want 2. Okay, because husband was insisting, can't buy just one of the lions, you got to buy 2. I said, okay, that's quite a treat for me to get these lions that I've kind of always wanted. I really have. So he says, they're kind of heavy. They are heavy. Husband's looking at him, and my husband's not a frail man by any means. I mean, he's strong and, you know, built and everything. And I said, well, how much do they weigh? 90 pounds each. 90 pounds each. He went over, the guy that makes these, he went over and he just picked it up. And we had our truck with us. And we had a blanket on the back seat. And he just kind of laid one way and one the other way of putting him in the truck for us. Wow, that was great. So while he's loading and doing all that, I'm getting my money and I pay the guy. And then in the garage, because he kind of wants me to see what he makes. Okay. And the molds and everything. So he's in a big way of telling me about the mold for this lion is $900. Now I'm kind of appreciating my lion just a little bit more, knowing that the mold is so much money. Then he's showing me some other things, and that's when I spotted out of the corner of my eye the little squirrel. And because I have been feeding my little one squirrel outside, I don't see him anymore. He took off. I don't know where he went. But I did feed him for quite a little while, peanuts. So I buy the squirrel from him. And and the squirrel's heavy too. And I get the squirrel in my arm. And I gave him the money for that. And I had to go back to my purse in the car to get the money. And I hand him the money. He owed me $2. Okay. And then he hands me the cutest little gnome that he made. And he said, here, you can have this. It's just adorable. Wow. I thought, what a nice guy. You know, that not only did I purchase 3 items from you, but you give a freebie in there. And I think that's just good business. It just is, because you're going to remember the person you really are. Now, I can paint these with an outside acrylic paint if I want to. I'm waiting to see on the squirrel whether I want to paint it or not. And the lion, one of them still has to kind of cure. It's a little bit different color. It needs to turn more white like the other, because I want white lions out front. I really do. Wait till you see these, really. And wait till you see the little other added things I put out front that just cracked me up one day. I found this, not in a thrift store. This was in, we have kind of an estate store down here. And I got it. The beveled glass alone was worth me getting this. And I use straws all the time, especially right after surgery, of which I've got to have again. I thought, oh, this is fun that I found that. And even husband said, he said, that's vintage. He says, I'm glad you got that. I said, oh, I am too. I am too. And when I make my milkshakes, of which I have to have, this is the sack of the stuff that I have to drink along with the milkshake. Right here. that my surgeon says puts on calories, gives me everything I need as far as vitamins, minerals, everything I need, carbs, everything to build up my immune system when I'm down with these surgeries. And trust me, folks, this has kind of been a lifesaver. I gave one to my older son who has lost a lot of weight, stress. And there's a little cup inside, and you just you can pour it in anything, you know, a glass of milk or whatever liquid. But I'm putting this in my milkshakes and drinking that. Okay, now we're going to go right back over here to my stove and show you this simple little recipe. Okay, like all pasta, you have to drain the juice, you know, the water part, off of the noodles, which I just did. Okay, so here are the nice noodles, all cooked, ready to go. What do I add with these? Stewed tomatoes. Yep, 2 cans, depending on what size, you know, of the serving that you want for the evening. But really, I've got, I don't know, probably 4 cups of noodles in here. So I'm going to add 2 cans, not cups, cans. I think when I don't say things right again, which I'm catching myself, is because I do have a lot on my mind. And when you've just been told things aren't going well again, more complications, it weighs on you, people, it does. Okay, so put the tomatoes in there. Now, doesn't this look really, really simple? I mean, come on. But let me tell you, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. There's the salt. Don't have anything UPS today or FedEx, so I think I'm okay. Dogs just like to bark, like they always do. This was the simple thing of what my mother cooked that day. This is something I grew up on. This is very, very tasty. It really is. So this is the side dish that we're having with our hamburgers. And again, all I have to do is set this aside. I will put it in some other container. I will put it in the refrigerator. And when we get back from our errands and things we're doing, then the dessert is already done. Now this is done. All we have to do is cook those hamburgers out on the grill. How easy was that? Really, how easy was that? Okay, in my little wait period of, like I said, I can't do Mother's Day coming up with a video. So I just want to share just a memory of my mom. There's many, but I'm going to take the macaroni tomato side dish as one of my good memories that I had. This is my mom right here. She died in 2005. That was 19 years ago. And I had really 48 years of having Mother's Day with my mom from the time I was born. This is what she looked like at 72. If you can see it that well. That's her right there. My lighting's not real good. Do I look like her? Yeah, I do. I do. Like I said, I got those jowls. These were the roses that were at the graveside that I saved. And like I said, there's so many memories with a mother. There are with your father also, but there's just so many with your mother. Your mother is who made you, and you do have a lot of her traits in you when you grow up to be an adult. And I certainly have gotten several from my mom. Good, bad, or indifferent, I got them. The jowls is one of them. It really is. The storytelling, yeah, I got from my mom. I really did. She was a person that loved to cook in her kitchen, just like me. She liked to entertain, put on different things. There wasn't a whole lot of parties and different things with a lot of people at our house. She just liked to do it for family, for us as the children, and aunts and uncles, and her parents, and all that kind of stuff. We would have dinners at our house for family, and it was important. Um, she liked to travel and go places, yes. Didn't get a lot of that done in the early years, like you don't when you're raising a family. She had 4 children, I had 4 children. You don't get all that done when you're young. My children have had 45 Mother's days, with me. I had my oldest in 1979, and if you kind of do the math, that's how many Mother's Days have passed that they've had with me. It's not always that we can be together on Mother's Day. Lots of times I wasn't with my mom on Mother's Day, and especially in the younger years, when I was in my 20s and 30s of raising children, I couldn't be with her in person. But yes, it was a phone call, definitely. Um, we didn't have cell phones back then. We couldn't text messages of, Happy Mother's Day, love you, Mom, and hope you have a nice day, and that's it. It's so impersonal now, or it has become that, I should say. It's so impersonal now that we really need to get back to what I call quality time with our parents, if they're still alive. If they're not, then you go to the cemetery. Yes, even on Mother's Day or Father's Day, go to the cemetery and remember your parents. Doesn't have to be on Memorial Weekend. So remembering Mom, I made a video of the cream puffs that she always liked. It was either cream puffs or eclairs. Well, I'm not feeling up to making more cream puffs and or eclairs, but making that simple little side dish brought back a really fun memory for me in 6th grade, that I can remember being close with my mother then and talking with her, having these stories told. And I think I'm sure I did have 2 bowls of that macaroni tomato side dish, just hearing her talk. It was special. It was just a special time. Nowadays, you don't get that special time with your kids. They're just so busy. Well, I was pretty busy in my 40s also, still raising kids, but I made time for who? My mom. Made time. Wasn't always with, an elaborate gift. Didn't have to be. We didn't do that back then. It was, having a nice lunch together, or, yes, inviting them over for dinner for Mother's Day or Father's Day, either one. Um, they have a national day for everything. There's National Pickle Day. There's for your pets. There's, everything. There's Grandparents' Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these days. I don't know why they haven't done a wife day or a husband day. And I have to give, credit where credit is due as far as the hubby this week, because I kind of think he was feeling sorry for me that, oh my gosh, here I go again with another major surgery, down, in a lot of pain, everything. And that's why he bought me the yellow rose. That's why he bought me the lions. Something to put a smile on my face, something to bring me a little joy during now another downtime. And I can sit out on my little bench now when I'm feeling well enough to get up out of that bed. I can sit out there with a cup of tea and look at those lions and know that that was a special day. And I do the same thing even with remembering Mother's Day on different things. There was just so many. I mean, my gosh, yeah, 48 different Mother's Day. Some of them I was too young to remember, but you know, cut that even in half. Of all the Mother's Days that I remember calling her and talking to her, of having long talks. Remember the special bond that you have with your parent that I wish kids today would do. So my week that wasn't so good with technician, having bills increase, even had a family member who called me and chew me out this week. That's the second time that's happened. There won't be a third. And then hearing all this from my surgeon, again, of a surgery. So my week now of Friday ending the week hasn't been that great of a week, but I'll get through it. Really. There is a saying, you've been there and done this. You can do it again. The problem is I don't want to do it again. Or how about that saying that says if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger? It killed me twice. I went to HELL and back again twice, and now I have to do it a third time. How many different surgeries have I had? I told my husband, I was counting on my fingers as we're walking to the car out of the surgeon's office, and I said, I've had 6 surgeries. 6 surgeries. How many more? Oh, I've got a couple more, yeah. But complications in your body, something uncontrollable, nothing I can do about. Body is just saying no, no, maybe no more surgeries. I don't know what it's saying. But today it's saying, pop on and say hi to all those people out there that like to watch my little videos. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching me on Facebook, whether you are watching me on my channel of YouTube, which most of you are, and subscribing. And oh gosh, that really touches my heart. Thank you very much for liking them. I mean, they're crazy. They're kind of unusual of what I do. I still try to get in something that has to do with some recipe or cooking, because that's what it's all about, cooking with me, Carol Diane. And yes, I go by my middle name, Diane. She did that to me. She really did. And it's kind of confusing to a lot of people. And I always tell the anesthesiologist, if you call me by my first name, Carol, I may not wake up. So make a note that I go by my middle name. So happy Mother's Day, Mom, even though you're not with me. Happy Mother's Day to all those out there. I do hope you have a wonderful day. I hope it's quality time with your children, or if you don't have any children, then just go make it a nice day. Treat yourself to something. If it's just you and your husband, say, and the husband wants to buy you a rose, absolutely, take it and say thank you. And I did out in the driveway. I gave him a big kiss of, wow, thank you for these lions. That it's another memory for me going clear back in time that Mom and I used to think, wouldn't it be nice to live in a mansion? Would it? I don't know. Would it be nice to be rich and have lions at your front door? I don't know. I didn't have that life. And I know there's a lot of very wealthy people out there in the world, billionaires even. Doesn't mean they're happy. They go through things too. They go through divorces. They have deaths in their family. They have all kinds of things too. Money just really can't buy everything. It's nice. It certainly helps on a lot of different things. But really, truly, it's the memories that you make along the way. And I want you to keep that in mind and keep making your memories. Just like my video talking about the book and where are you in the chapter of your life of the book, what's going to happen. For me, I'm going to try to get over this hurdle of the health problems and these surgeries and move on. I could not and cannot. In fact, I laid all my stuff out ready to get back to finishing that second cookbook, finishing and publishing and getting it done of the 3rd novel. I can't seem to get there when I have surgeries that lay me out in bed in a lot of pain. So be patient with me on that, folks. I'm working on it. I really am. Find my books on Amazon. You can. Other than that, I just kind of wanted to pop in and say Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I hope you're having a grand day. This is from my kitchen to yours. So go make it a good one this weekend, okay? I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. I'm going to start my little video by showing you more of my bearded iris, the beautiful purple ones that have bloomed. This is my JFK white rose bush. It seems to be doing fine, along with another one over here. These are my pride and joys. These are the lions that we got yesterday. Said the one on the left hasn't cured just yet. He will turn more of a white color. And if he never does, then I will go ahead and paint them white. But aren't they attractive? They sit right here by my front door. What kind of? Husband wanted me to put them up on the front step. And I said, no, that's where my flower urns are. I absolutely adore them. I should give them names, huh? I step up to my step up here of the front door. This is the little squirrel that I bought. Isn't he cute? There he is right there. But maybe I'll paint. I don't know yet. I don't really know yet. Come down off the step here. I've added a couple more things. These are my little rabbits that I talk about. The sprinklers work great. So I put in the chicken to give it a lot more color up here. And over here with the fountain, it's still doing just fine, my little ducky. I got these the other day. This is one of them here. Cracked me up. And I'm not a big frog fan. But this one I couldn't resist because there he is with the shovel, and it reminded me so much of my husband. Then there's this one. Of the other one, just sitting there, you know, watching. And when the husband put the lions up, I showed him the frogs. And he starts cracking up. I said, well, the one with the shovel reminds me of you. I'm always asking you to dig me a hole somewhere. Plant a tree, plant a rose bush, something. Yeah, he says. And the one sitting over there, he says, yeah, that's you. He says, you sit there. And I said, I'm doing the delegating the work, aren't I? Supervising, yes, of how I'm doing it. And we just laughed. We really did. So that is my update on the area that I'm calling my little oasis. That I am going to come out here after surgery when I feel a little better, and I will sit here. And this is the rose bush that he bought me that we decided to put right here. This is now the yellow one, the great big tall one right here. And I hope it does really, really well. Facing my lion, both of my lions. I sure enjoyed and sure was blessed and thankful that husband felt sorry for me, I guess, this week. I've had a really hard week. And material items don't really solve the problem, but you know what? It did make me smile. God bless him for making me smile. I can't forget the cute little gnome. He's just adorable.